we'll start off. We saw in a little trailer the next season. You're in a little bit of a tough spot.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what's it like when you kind of are faced with something like that? You're like, I just killed it. It's gonna be okay. I like this job. Do you ever wonder? Do you ever worry about job security, so to speak?
Yeah.
You're good.
I guess that's the difference between making, this is the first series I make. I've only done mini series before. So this is the first time where I haven't had the full arc of my character when I've accepted the job. And that's very scary and new to me. To not know what's going to happen. I guess it's more like life, in that sense.
Now for
your characters, because Loki is so skeptical.
It's a common mistake calling him Loki.
Oh, I almost did. But you're pure Viking. There's nothing in you that's going to tweak you from your heritage, and then you have this transient, and so there's obviously it feels like there's some confrontations
between the two of us.
Yeah, that are set procedures.
Definitely. There's, for sure. Floki's he's a fundamentalist in a way. He's a fundamentalist pagan. He really truly believes in his gods, and he doesn't trust this man for being.
And the more Athelstan tries to, I guess, at the end of season 1, pretend that he's full Viking and I'm part of your club, guys, etc. The more suspicion there is from the truest of Vikings. So it's more confrontation to be had, I think.
Athelstan got a pretty harsh dose of reality when he finally had that moment where he realized he was set to be sacrificed. So where does he go now that he fully
How harsh?
It was so.
How harsh is the reality of living as a monk in a monastery? No sex.
That hasn't changed.
No, come on, what kind of a life is that? That's way.
Now he just doesn't get fed as well. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, he didn't know anything outside the monastery.
But how does he fit in now? Because now he knows he's really not one of them.
Right, yeah.
We got drunk and got laid at least.
Well,
we set you free, come on.
Yeah. Free.
A simple thank you, man.
Come on, right?
It's I think it was really the priests of Uppsala that made that decision, and even though maybe some of Ragnar's family knew that he's not really part of their religion, it's still very much he's a friend of Ragnar's who is there to stay, and I don't think Ragnar has any kind of negative thoughts about the fact that he couldn't man up in that situation, as it were. So, but it's a big betrayal for him, realizing that Ragnar was sending him to his death. So that
it was an honor, man.
Yeah, well, that's going to take a while for him to wrap his head around that. But no, it's the relationships are all very kind of sketchy at the end of season 1.
So to know who on the cast is most like the characters in real life.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on which cast member you ask. Because if you ask Michael that question, I think he probably have a very clear opinion, and that would be very different to what Gustaf would say and what I would say. So we know each other.
That's the most diplomatic bullshit answer I've ever heard in my life.
That's the most diplomatic of him saying, you are.
Yeah. It was brilliant though,
Very well
Next
pronounced.
question.
Thank you.
So I just got an email from Histories talking about an epic battle scene in season 2. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, well, it's the first where we leave the story when we in episode 9 of the first season. Rollo is about to betray Ragnar and fight with Jarl Borg against King Borg and Ragnar. So that's basically where we start the second season with that battle. And you have Rollo fighting against Ragnar with Jarl Borg.
Blood is shed.
Blood is shed. There will be casualties.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, right.
Is Athelstan going to get closer to Lagertha now that they're both being crossed by Ragnar? Oh, that's a
Very
smile.
good question. You maybe think so, wouldn't you?
We should play cards, dude.
I think the thing is, like, the way everything ends for Ragnar at the end of season 1, he really doesn't have much support from his family because he's sort of ruined every kind of trust and strong bond that he has with them, and in a way. So, like, yeah, I think Athelstan's a bit lost at the end of season 1.
Will they
I
have
can't
sex or
say.
not?
Tune in.
Will they finally
In 2014.
finish that offer?
Who knows?
Since you are the actual full Viking, do you feel more pressure from like family and friends to get it right or did you go, hey man?
No, I don't. But having said that, I'm also like I want to portray it in a way that I would like to see it. You know, or I want to portray a Viking or like the flavor that I would like myself to see as a Swede, as a Viking or as a Scandinavian. Since I have an idea that I would kind of feel kind of, what the Viking, or my idea of Viking that I like.
What do you think worked and didn't work last season, and what can fans expect for season 2?
What was that?
What do you think worked and didn't work last season, and what do you think fans can expect to see in season 2?
Everything worked.
Yeah, I was actually thinking to say that, but I was like you can't really say that. But
Sure you can.
I was like, because whenever you're in a creative process, at least I'm always critical to the material because you want to make the best out of it. And there were some things that I was like, is this really going to work? And then when I saw the finished show, I was like, it really does work. And I don't have any specific examples of that right now, but as a whole, I was like, wow, it's flying, it's working, the show is working. And having read the first 4 episodes of the second season, I think it's just getting better and better and tighter, and the stakes are higher, and much more is on the line for everybody, and we don't have to. The first couple episodes of any series are hard because there's so much establishment and exposition to get through, and now we've done all that. We can go straight into this battle scene. We could never have done that in the first season. And I was like, we're there. So I think the fans are up for a treat immediately.
Taxing are the fight scenes, are the best.
It's fucking exhausting, man. I'm telling my Francais. It's like last week we were in the sport fighting. We did that scene. You saw I played for the panel. We're in a quarter and the sun is shining. It's like a heat wave of Ireland, first time in a century or whatever. And it's like it's scorching out, and I'm in triple layer leather, fighting non-stop for a whole day. We don't even have a lunch break. I'm eating my lunch standing up. I'm padded for stunt reasons. I'm padded and I'm covered in syrup from fake blood. Imagine that. I nearly died out of exhaustion, heat stroke. So it's taxing. It really is. So you just got to be on point. You have to, take responsibility of your own health. Honestly, I have to be like, no, I have to sit down for 5 minutes. I need to drink water. Otherwise, I will collapse.
What would you most like to do on the film, and is there anything that you wouldn't do?
Oh, what would we most like to do?
Yeah, in terms of action or a specific kind of dramatic scene or comedy, and what would you like?
On Wednesday I got to do what I would like most to do on this show. It's last Wednesday. I can't tell you what it is.
He got to fight. He got to fight. Yeah. Well, for me, it's like meaty, good scenes to act, relations and interactions with the other actors. Yeah, something to dig into. Yeah.
And now,
Good romance moments.
Romance, whatever. Combine the two, I don't know. Bring it on.
Nobody can talk to the guys like Floki.
Exactly. Yeah, I guess, the gauze, yeah. No, but whatever is, character specific and playable scene gets going as an actor.
and now, Loki and Ragnar have both a little bit of crazy to him. Is that why they're kind of bonded?
I definitely think there's a connection in that. Definitely. And I also think that's the way that Travis portrayed the character, because on the paper it's more of a flat hero role and an ambitious man, but Travis, being this guy he is and bringing the energy he has, his unique energy to the character, makes it more volatile and crazy and weird. And I think there's definitely some of that energy in which they meet, and I felt that already from the first scene we actually did together, which is when I take him to show my boat, the boat I'm building, and I was like doing my Floki, and I just felt that he picked up on that energy immediately, and I was like, okay, wow, there's definitely a buzz here. There's definitely a connection between these two guys. I get why they like each other, and I think we never get to see this backstory, but in my mind, I think Ragnar, I think Floki was an outcast. Everybody thought he was weird. He didn't play football with other kids. You know what I mean? And I think Ragnar vouched for him. He was like, no, I'm going with this guy. And he was right in that, because he's about to conquer the world.
Thanks, guys.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot.